Good morning, everyone. You've tuned into the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance, Cops for Kids, subsidiary of the Indiana State Police Alliance. I'm your host, Sergeant Rich Myers, with the Indiana State Police Public Information Office. With me today is a longtime friend and my boss, Captain Dave Burston. Thanks for coming in, Dave.
Rich, thanks for having me here.
I appreciate you being here this morning. And we got another longtime friend.
Not your boss.
Not my boss.
Not your boss.
Kind of, sort of.
Yeah.
Kind of.
I do get bossy, as you all know.
Longtime media person in the Indianapolis area, Ruth Ann Gordon. Thank you for being here.
My pleasure.
I appreciate you coming in on such short notice. And Ruth Ann right now is the Senior Planning Manager for Fox 59, CBS 4, but you've been in the media for a long time.
Long time. 37 years.
Wonderful.
In Indianapolis. And prior to that, 2.5 years in Dayton, Ohio, 2.5 years in Terre Haute, Indiana. And yeah, so
You've been around
40 plus, but I like to think I started when I was 12, okay? Let's just go there.
I thought you were 8.
Thank you.
Well, I tell you what, you've seen some things, and you've seen some things with this man right here next to you who's been around almost that long, I think. You guys have worked together, and,
Yes.
and I've been here a few years working with you. But what we're going to talk about today is something kind of unique to Indiana. I don't know if a lot of other states do this, but something that, did you guys kind of get this started, the MESO thing?
Yeah, I was sitting here trying, in my mind, I think it was started prior to me, and I'm trying to remember. I'm thinking that Bruce Canal had something to do with it.
Bruce might have,
Yeah.
but Hill did too.
Okay.
And what we're talking about here, ladies and gentlemen, is what we
Several.
refer to as the MESO. And that's Media Emergency Services Organization. And what we do is at least try to get together quarterly with the media, the state police, any law enforcement entity, EMS, fire, public safety, and we gripe and complain, don't we, guys?
Anything with a public safety nexus. And what's been neat about it, and I think all these times everybody's held true to it, what's discussed in the MESO meeting has stayed in the MESO meeting.
Yes.
And then what we've done from the public safety side is we pass out information about, hey, here's a story idea. So there's a little catch to encourage the media to come. And I think to me, the hardest part has been, and I think, Ruth Ann, you would agree with me, is getting the media participation, because there's so many more public safety people. There's so many more police officers. Just in Marion County, you've got Marion County Sheriff, IMPD, Cumberland, Beech Grove, Speedway. Then you hit the donut counties that participate.
Yes.
Then you have all the fire services, the township fire departments, IFD. So, truly there's much more of us. And I think that when we don't have the media participation, then you question, well, why are we doing this? But we've been doing it for 15
Since the
years.
90s.
Yeah, since the 90s.
And it has helped us understand your jobs better, I think. And I've really promoted it a lot with Fox 59 and CBS 4 with getting more of those new reporters.
Right.
Brought another one in to
Kelly Rinke.
Kelly.
Yep.
And then we had Michael Sullivan,
Yep.
who's new, and
Yep.
he joined us at the last MESO meeting and learned a lot. And I said, as soon as you get your cards, because he's really new, he hasn't gotten his cards that he can hand out. I said, start passing those around. But more importantly, come in, meet these people face to face, because I put together a PDF for all the new reporters, kind of lining out who's who. And I include your cell phone, Rich, and I include yours, Dave, on that PDF so that they can call or email too. So.
And we've gotten those, I know, an email from some new reporters and let us know that they're in the area.
And they're looking for stories.
Yeah.
Because it's on their shoulders to come in with 3 or 4 stories every day. A pitch that would be a good story for the evening news or the dayside newscast or whatever.
Well, and what this is, folks, if you don't understand yet, this started out as, and I don't know what started it. Do you, Dave? What somebody said, "Hey, we need to do this"?
Yeah, I think there was probably some bad incident that happened because
Probably so.
probably something that really either was egregiously done by law enforcement that upset media, or more likely something media
Oh, really
did
does.
to
You
upset
just always
us.
blame us, of course.
And to talk to each other, like some of the early things that we talked about. It's funny how time changes things. Our big complaint was helicopters.
Yes.
Because every station had a helicopter, and now more and more the stations
We're
are
going-
out of the helicopter business. They're
We are.
now into
And
the
drones,
Yeah.
and multiple drones, and multiple people that are trained on every shift now to operate those drones. So we can respond, and everybody can respond at a moment's notice with that.
But what we do with our meetings is we get together at, we have a host. We look for a host agency we have a luncheon, of course,
it
because
could be
anytime you have
media
food, you
or
bring
public safety.
Yeah. We bring the public safety and the media together, and this is an opportunity to say, hey, this was good. Before our last meeting, we really liked how this happened. We really liked what happened here, or we didn't like this at all. And it's an open session. We've had yellings.
Yes, we
have,
have.
yeah.
We have.
We've had disagreements.
table banging, and
Yes.
But when we walk out, we're all friends. We understand how it goes, and we have enlightened and opened up the room for a conversation. But like I always say, it's a lot harder to be mad at somebody if you meet them face to face.
Yes.
Right.
And if you talk to them face to face, and it's a lot easier to work with that person at a bad situation. Take the Noblesville shooting. If you know somebody and how it works out, and we expect and we trust where that information is coming from, it's a lot easier to do that, isn't it?
And the Noblesville shooting is a good point. We just had our recent meeting, and
Right.
Ruth Ann and I were there, and for something that was so horrible, it could have been so much worse. Fortunate with no loss of life. Indications are that everybody's going to recover. We have the suspect who still has to have his day in court, and who knows what will happen with his future, and if he'll have an opportunity to recover from what he's done and be a productive member of society, or is this just the beginning of a long criminal history? Hopefully not.
But once that happened, which
Right.
was horrible, we were able to launch our crews, launch our drones. I mean, get everybody in place. But we contacted
Right.
you. There was a back and forth of where do you want us to stage, who is going to be there for us to talk with. I mean, and knowing all of that, knowing that we were going to be live and continuous live coverage of this. Puts a strain on us, but it also puts a strain on you to get current information back.
And you're
So-
wanting the current and correct information.
And correct
That's what you're
information.
looking for.
Yes.
And that's the big point. Sometimes so many things are happening in the initial minutes, and sometimes even in the first 20, 30 minutes or an hour, that you don't know what is 100% fact, what is speculation. And the more I've done this position, Rich, and I know you're the same, and I know that the media, for the most part, wants to get information out. It's that battle of I've got air to fill, and sometimes there is no new information, and all that can be done is regurgitation of what's known. I just am very hesitant. I don't ever want to speculate on anything.
No, and nor do we.
Right.
We do not release any information unless we have it double sourced or
Right.
even triple sourced. And it's our due diligence to get the correct information out. And if we have to repeat, we repeat. But we're the ones that get the calls from the parents and the friends, and it was
Everybody's searching for a piece of
a piece
information.
of information. Yes.
Well, again, you're listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow, brought to you by the Indiana State Police Alliance. I have Ruth Ann Gordon. She's the planning manager
Planning
manager at CBS
that.
4 and Fox 59. Captain Dave
I'm a
Burston.
helper, though. I'm just a helper.
She's been managing people for years.
So, guys, what do you think about? Is this unique to our city? Is this, you think, helped out in could have been some very strenuous situations?
Yeah, I'm going to go let Ruth Ann answer that, because you have media people coming in from other markets and come in. Do they say there's anything like this in their
They have
markets?
never heard of this, and that's why I try to bring as many as I can to some of these meetings, and they walk away going, wow. And I know we've got MESO up in Lafayette and Fort Wayne, right?
Right.
Other parts of the state.
And then I think in Louisville, too.
Yes.
And
Yeah, we do.
So, I mean, look at what...
And Evansville.
Look at what's started. Look at the conversations. And I think anything, it's been beneficial on both sides. But yes, when these new reporters come in, and I get to bring them to some of these meetings, they're astounded. And then they bring their cards and they try to network
Great
as much as
opportunity
they
to do
can.
that, yeah.
It is. It's a great opportunity.
I think it's also squashed maybe some incidents that could have happened between the media, the public, and the police on some police actions that we've had around the city, because we've had this conversation before, and we have that trust, and we have that we're going to be transparent and get this information out.
Exactly so. I mean, the law enforcement business is a dangerous business. And when you're in a business where criminals do what criminals do, they break laws. And when you go to try and stop somebody or arrest somebody, criminals don't follow directions. They are looking for a way to get away. We have a rule book. The criminals have no rule book. And most of the bad things that we're seeing happen, not just in this state, but across the nation, are because the criminals don't follow the directions. When they're caught, they don't realize they're caught, and they still try to get away. And then bad things happen when you don't follow the directions of a police officer.
Oh. So the MESO meeting, we were talking about how it's evolved and what we're looking at and what we talk and discuss about. And one of the things is the flying, we refer to them as drones.
UAVs. Yeah, unmanned aerial vehicle. I don't like the term drone. Unmanned aerial vehicle. No.
Okay.
It's a UAV.
But that's the new up and coming thing with media and law enforcement.
Yeah, and public safety. Our good friend Mike Pruitt with Wayne Township Fire Department. He's probably one of the most prolific people as far as using a UAV. There's still a lot to learn from what's happening there. And right now, you don't know. You look up and you see 2 or 3 UAVs flying around there with cameras. You don't know whose they are. Is it news? Is it somebody that's trying to do something that's criminal, perhaps? It's a wild, wild west right now.
Ruth Ann, do you guys anticipate you'll be getting more? You're using these quite a bit.
Oh yes, and we're using them every day, and we're making sure we have somebody on staff on each shift that can pilot and a drone. And then we're getting to the point where we're getting multiple people on multiple shifts to be able to pilot that drone, and we're using that almost every day. Now, I will say that we're checking with your agency and IMPD, other agencies, before we launch, because if there is a story and if we need those shots, we're gonna use it. But we like to check. We want to make sure everybody's on the same wavelength on what we're doing. Sometimes we're not allowed to. But there are others that do fly, do pilot those drones, and sometimes we're able to hammer out an agreement and get the same footage, like from Mike Pruitt, as an example, or others. And so that if there's one drone up, and if it's Mike flying or piloting this drone, then we'll back off. But if we can launch our drone and do our own thing, we'll do it. But we're always checking.
Now, I've got a question for you. Are when you put your UAVs up, are they live to tape, or do they have the capability to go live from in the air?
We now have the capability of going live.
Wow.
Yes.
Yeah. Because the concerns that raises then, if it's a hostage situation and those things, and then now we have a live UAV, and it's, well, here we can see the SWAT team in position as the people inside the building are also watching. Okay, there they are, shoot through that wall.
You and I have hammered that out.
We have,
yes.
but other stations don't.
I know, but we've
and
hammered
folks,
that out.
this is how our MESO meetings go.
Exactly.
We do not put any law enforcement officer in jeopardy, period.
Yep.
We don't do that. And that's just a rule of thumb that we abide by.
And this is how
we just want to encourage everybody to follow the same rule of thumb that Ruth Ann just outlined.
We got 20 seconds to go, so I'm going to talk us out here, folks.
Okay.
Thank you so much for being here. This is it. This is a MESO meeting.
It's a
great.
MESO.
Yeah,
It's
it
a
is.
mini MESO.
Yeah,
Right.
this has been great. Again, thank you for listening to the Indiana State Police Roadshow. Ruth Ann Gordon, Captain Dave Burson, appreciate you being here. The Roadshow is out.